Hello and welcome to Ruger's training demonstration. I am very excited about this one. Obviously, I love Ruger a lot. I think he's awesome. Of course, I'm a little partial to Griff's, having two of them, but I think that he's just an awesome dog. I think you guys are really going to enjoy him, and he's a very, very good boy, and I think that he's going to be just great. So anyhow, we are going to pull him out now. We're going to jump into this training demonstration. So the format of this is going to be as follows. We're going to start with his manners. So we'll pull him out of the crate, show you all those manners. Then we'll do his obedience commands and his leash work. So the crate training, the house training, and all the informational information is on that first video. So make sure that you watch that first. We are going to be referring to that quite a bit, especially with my 3 keys to success, which is consistency, follow through, and management. So once again, go watch that if you haven't, and then jump back in here. So with that, so like I said, Ruger's awesome. I really like him. I think he's doing a great job. He's a very, very good puppy, but he is not perfect, so he is going to make some mistakes, which you'll probably see maybe 1 or 2 of those during this demonstration, and you will be able to see how I follow through with him, how I make sure that we're consistent and I help him succeed. So first manner we're going to show you is his gates and his doorways, which I'm going to grab a leash here. So anytime I let Ruger out of the crate, we go through a closed house door, we go through a gate outside, I expect him to wait. It doesn't matter who goes first, and he doesn't have to sit, he doesn't have to lay down. He just needs to show me that he is in control and he is waiting to be released. If at any point during this he breaks, he tries to run through, or even if he just crosses the threshold, I'm going to give him a very quick and simple correction and help him succeed. I'm not going to tell him to stay or wait. I do expect this to be an automatic behavior. But if he tries to break, I'm going to tell him no, have him do it again. Now, if he is ever able to just run past me, I am going to tell him no, go and get him and do it again. So he cannot think that if he's sneaky enough or if he's fast enough, he can get away with ignoring that behavior. So we have very high expectations for him. Failure is a very important part of learning, but it's never where we end. So when or if he fails, I'm always going to help him then succeed. We always end on a correct behavior. So with the crate, as I open that up, if he tries to stick a paw out, I might just simply close the door and tell him no. With a house door, if I have a leash on, I can use that leash to correct him if he tries to cross the threshold. Or if I don't have a leash, I'm going to open that door in a way to where my back's towards the opening, and I can use my legs to block him if he tries to cross over that threshold before being released. So we're going to pull him out. I am going to have him ring the bells, and then we are going to go outside, so that way you can see him ring the bells. You can also see that threshold going outside, and then we'll come in and jump into his greeting. Hi, buddy. Okay, good boy. So you can see he was just waiting to be released. Okay being our release word, and then he's able to come out. Good boy, huh? Good boy. Okay, we're going to walk over, and I'm going to help him ring the bells here. Ruger. And we'll go outside. Okay, outside. Good boy. Good boy. Now, once again, he's waiting. He's not allowed to cross the threshold until I release him. Okay, good boy. Okay. So same expectations coming through the doorway, back into the home. He doesn't have to sit or lay down. He just needs to show that he is in control and he is waiting for me to release him through. So now we're going to talk about his greeting. The greeting is when I call him to me, I expect him to sit politely in order to get my attention. So same thing, even if he just approaches me, I expect him to sit, and then I can pet him and give him that attention. So this is a replacement behavior for jumping. If he did jump up on me, I'm going to correct him, but I expect him to just automatically present this greeting. Ruger, come here. So if I call him over, he sits. Good boy. Good boy. Now, we're to the point where I've weaned off a lot of treats for this behavior. I just give him that praise and affection. But over the next couple weeks, you need to make sure that you're rewarding this behavior pretty heavily. Anytime that he approaches you and he sits, I would make sure that you recognize it, because whatever we want repeated, we need to reinforce. And over the next 3 days, you're gonna do an exercise where we're just setting this behavior up. So what that exercise looks like is you're gonna take the leash, you're gonna take some treats, and I'm just gonna take a few steps back, say his name, and then reward him when he sits. So it looks like this. Ruger. We step back, he sits, okay, give him the treat. Ruger. Wait for him to sit. Okay, good boy. Last time here, Ruger. And on the third time, I'm just gonna pet him. Oh, good boy, good boy. Okay, you're gonna do this several times over the next 3 days. Once again, just really working on this behavior, teaching him that you have the same expectations as I do. And so everybody that has regular interactions with Ruger should do this exercise. We want him to respect them. However, if it's somebody that doesn't have that regular interaction, I don't have the same expectations for Ruger. I want him to be polite. I don't want him to think that he can jump up on people, but I also don't expect him to approach and give this beautiful sit for every stranger. It's something that we can build up to, but at this age, that's not my expectation. Instead, so if you have people coming over, it's somebody that you want Ruger to meet, we can walk up to that person, stop like 5 or 6 feet short, have Ruger do this sit to greet for you, reward him for it, and then you can invite that person over. But if he gets out of control at any point during this, he starts to jump up, I'm walking away. So you're gonna hear me talk about distance a lot. There's always an amount of distance that we can utilize to help Ruger regain his focus and his control. Now the other aspect to this, I don't ever let people meet my dog when we're out on a walk. So I don't need him thinking that every person that we run into is rewarding. I also don't let other people give my dogs treats on walks. Now there's certain situations where we allow it when we're out on outings, if we're out in a store and we're working on building some control. But in general, when I'm walking, I want him to focus on me. So I don't do on-leash greetings. You are gonna have people when you're out on a walk say, oh my gosh, he's so handsome. Can I meet him? Or can I introduce my dog to him? In which my answer is always, no, we're in training. You can be really polite about it, but I would make a habit of telling people no. There's just no need for it. And if you allow it every single time, then he's gonna get to the point where he expects it, and you're gonna see other people on a walk, and he's gonna start pulling to get to him because it's what he thinks that we should do, as well as he thinks it's rewarding. Now there are gonna be times where you do need to meet people, and you're gonna do that same exercise where if I said, yeah, this is Ruger, you can meet him, come here. I'm going to walk him up. I will stop, 5 or 6 feet short, have him sit for me, say, good boy, reward him, say, yes, this is Ruger, he's a griff, you can come up and meet him. He still needs to be in control. He doesn't have to remain sitting, he can stand up, but he's not allowed to jump, he's not allowed to get out of control. If he got out of control at all, I would tell him no, and I would walk away. Even if that's only 10 feet, we just need enough distance to where I can regain his focus and then I can approach again. Okay. Sometimes it's really hard to correct our dogs around people that we don't know, or even around people that we do know. Your dog gets out of control, but you're talking, and so we just let him get away with it. Or we'll do like these halfway corrections where it's like, oh no, stop. And he sees that that's not a very effective correction, and he's just gonna keep doing it, and now it becomes rewarding to jump up on people. So you need to correct your dog, you need to regain focus. Hey, something simple like this. Ask for that sit again, good boy. That way we teach him that he has to be in control and he has a job to do. After the people leave, I would have him sit again for me, reward that, and then keep going. For the most part though, when we see people out on a walk or out in public, I would rather have him engage with me, or we will do a heel and get past them. Okay, so that's the greeting. We talked a little bit about jumping, how this is a replacement behavior for jumping. If he jumps up at all, I'm going to step into him and bring my knee up. So I'm not kicking him, I'm not punting him across the room. It's just a quick shift in my body language, and I'll accompany that with no or off. And I don't allow paws up on me at all. So it's no, off, and I correct him. our instinct, and especially children, if you've got grandkids or children around that are small, our instinct is always to back up when a dog is running towards us, which if you notice in that greeting, if I start backing up, it's encouraging him to approach me. So instead, I'm always going to step into him. That way I restrict my space, or restrict his space, and show him that, nope, I don't like that. I don't appreciate it. Ruger. If you do have small kids, I like to do kind of that same exercise as what I mentioned with other people, where I walk Ruger up, and that way I have a hold of the leash, and if he tries to jump up on him, I can correct him. But then we can make sure that he's in control, ask him for that sit, and then let the kids come up and introduce themselves. If he jumps up on something like your couch or up on a chair or table, anything like that, I'll tell him off, and I'll accompany that with like a clap. Something to really drive that point home. But he doesn't get to jump up. He doesn't get to be ill-mannered. You'll notice that he definitely likes to have a job. He needs to be doing something at all times. If I just have him sit next to me, he gets bored. And so it is important that we give him something to do. That's why he's using that nose, and he's out looking for any crumbs that could have been dropped. So the other thing that I'm going to mention with our greeting or with presenting treats to him is the command gently. Ruger, come here. Good boy, good boy. So when I give Ruger a treat, I expect him to be very soft taking it, and he has to keep all 4 paws on the ground. So if I'm lowering this treat and he rears up at all, I'm going to pull that treat away and tell him gently. I also, once again, I don't want to feel any teeth. So for me, I always give him the treat in the palm of my hand, and I'll cover it with my thumb. So that way there's less skin for him to grab. Good boy. And he has to use his tongue. Especially children always want to give puppies treats between their thumb and forefinger, which is asking the puppy to bite fingers. But we have been working on this where I can tell him gently. Gently. Good boy. And I want him to be very, very soft. I said he gets a little too excited or he rears up, that treat just comes back. I pull it away and tell him gently. I expect him to be very, very soft. Which he's done really well with that. But he does get excited, and sometimes it even sounds scary because he gets that suction going, and it's like he's going to inhale your hand. But he honestly has been really good with that. Hey. Mealtime manners. So anytime I feed Ruger, I expect him to hold an automatic sit-stay, so I don't have to tell him stay. Instead, if I shake that bowl, he'll plant himself, and then he's expected to stay until released. Okay, good boy. Okay, releases him. Now, we've spent a lot of time making sure that there's no resource guarding, which he doesn't have a problem with. I don't make a habit of always taking his food away because I wouldn't like it if somebody came and stole my food. However, I want to make sure that he is comfortable with me taking stuff from him, and then I can practice it again. Okay, good boy. Instead, I want to keep it positive. So if I'm going to take his food bowl away, or if I'm going to be around him when he eats, I would rather every once in a while throw something good in there so that it's positive me being around his food. Good boy. We've been feeding him about half a cup each meal, so 6 and 6, so twice a day. But he's been great with that. Along the lines of resource guarding, so he should be very comfortable with me handling all of his things, whether it be toys, treats, choose anything. I want to make sure that he's never aggressive towards me handling or taking any of his stuff away. Okay. He loves to play. I mean, we've tried to really encourage and heighten this toy drive. Good boy, good boy. And this is when we work on the drop it command. Ruger, drop it. No. Good, good. Okay. So with drop it, I expect him to let me physically take it. Where he is going to be a hunting dog, I'm not as interested in him spitting it out onto the ground as much as I am having him allow me to take it from him. Okay, good boy. So when I ask him to drop it, I just want to be able to take that out of his mouth. Ruger. Good boy. Drop it. Good dog. Good dog. Okay. So I tell him good when I take it, okay when he gets it back. Ruger, when I practice this command, good boy, good boy. I want to make sure that I'm just playing with him. I'm keeping it fun. Drop it. Good dog. Okay. Because I don't want him thinking that this is a negative command, that he needs to hurry and run with things, because then you're going to get a dog that takes the bird and goes the other direction. So I want to keep it fun. I want to practice a lot. The only time that I've ever had him try and hold on to something was when I introduced the birds, because he was just, you could see instinct kick in. He absolutely loved it. And so we spent a lot of time making sure that he would let me take those birds out of his mouth. Ruger, come here. Good boy. Good boy. Drop it. Good dog. I never mix, okay, toys and treats. So the reward is always him getting the toy back. Ruger, come here. He's tired of me taking it from him. Ruger. Good. Good boy. Drop it. Good dog. Good dog. Okay, good boy. He just wants to go and chew on it. So sometimes, especially with the toys, I do give him this time where he can just go over and enjoy his toy. Because if I'm always just giving him a toy to take it, you're going to get this dog that wants to play keep away. And once again, we do not want that to happen with birds. So if this was something edible, or you picked up something really gross that you asked for a drop it, then I would replace it with a treat. Ruger, come here. Good boy, good boy. Drop it. Good dog. The other thing here is he has not lost many of his teeth. So he has been wanting to chew a lot more these last couple days. So some of these teeth are ready to come out. It is going to be important that you give him things to chew on. Otherwise, he's going to get bored and then he's going to go find things to chew on. And we never like what they find. So it's important to give him that toy, let him chew on it. Also, I'll mix in some bully sticks, try and change up the texture so that way I can match his needs. On this, we've also spent a lot of time handling him, so cleaning out ears. Obviously with his eye, I've had to put medication there. Not his favorite thing in the world. Clipping his nails, but we spent a lot of time making sure that he's not going to fight me. He's not going to, like even this, he's trying to bite his own toes. I thought you were going to try and nibble on my fingers. But I'm not going to let him get away with throwing a temper tantrum to get away. He needs to be calm and allow me to handle him, which he's been doing really well with. But yes, give him stuff to chew on. If he, hey, like this, he keeps trying to pick up the leash, I'm going to give him his toy back so he has something to chew on. If you see him chewing on something he's not supposed to, I'm going to tell him no, and then redirect him into something appropriate to chew on. So he started chewing on a pillow or like that, his leash, give him something like the toy. Okay, I believe that's all of our manners. So now we are going to dive in with our obedience commands. Ruger. Good boy. Drop it. Good dog. Good dog. Okay, I'm gonna pull this bed out. And the first command we're going to show you is his place command. Ruger, place. So with my dogs, I use this with our stand when we are duck hunting. It gives him a place to be and a job to do, so that way he's not just running around getting bored. Now with our place command, when I send him to place, as soon as all four paws are on, I give him a treat and tell him good. So good, once again, tells him he's doing the right thing. He needs to keep going, so he's not finished here. And then the more time goes past, the more distractions there are, I'm going to tell him good and reinforce calm behavior. So right now he's doing a couple minutes on his place, which is great for a puppy, but obviously we want that to continue to increase in time. And so we just need to be really consistent with reinforcing this, rewarding, and just building it up. So we have created this command to where it can be basically universal. We can use a lot of different things as place. Hey. So we've practiced on a rug or towels or blankets or boxes and just a number of different things. Because of that, okay, good boy. Place, I want to stand close and I want to point to whatever I want him to be on. Notice that when I released him, he does not get a treat when he comes off. The release is the reward in itself. So for my dogs, I shoot the duck, their release is to go or I release them and their reward is to go and pick up that bird. So that's the way that you can transition this. Okay, good boy. Ruger, place. Good dogs. Good dog, huh? So like I said, this is my favorite command. I use this a lot in my home too. Somebody comes to the door and I need him out of the way, or I'm bringing in groceries, I need him out of the way. It's just a very useful command when you can't have him right underfoot. Good boy. Okay, the crate command is very similar. Yeah, you heard me say it, good boy. Okay, so our standard is to say crate and tap on top. We're past that. Okay, good boy, to where I can just point and tell him crate. Good dog. I give him a treat when he goes in. He's expected to wait until released. Okay, good boy. I don't have him crate wait near as long for this command, because if it's going to be longer in the crate, no, I'm going to lock him up. Okay, good boy, crate. Good boy. This is also a command that you need to practice far more than just using it to lock him up. Because if you only use it when he's going to get locked up, he may build an aversion to that to where he just avoids the crate altogether. Okay, good boy. Now, if he ever hesitates, I'm just going to keep pointing, and then maybe I'll bend down and tap on the top. Okay, I didn't put you in there. Crate. Good boy. He loves training. Okay, as you can see, he's very, very driven, which makes him very fun to train. Okay, so now we have sit, down, stay. So we have 3 hand signals. We got sit is just a little scoop over the nose, down, off to the side, stay is extended like a stop sign. Okay, good boy, good boy. So these are a shorter term stay, especially where we don't have necessarily a boundary that they can't cross or a threshold. Sit, stay. Now this, so notice he immediately went into a down. I'm okay with that. Like, a down is more stable. However, I don't want him thinking that the stay means to lay down. Okay, good boy. So every once in a while, I'm going to help him make sure that we get the actual sit stay. So sit, stay. See, he always offers a down. Once again, it's one of those things where I'm like I said, he's more stable. I'm okay with that. However, if he's in a down stay, he's never allowed to pop up. We've been working on adding more distractions, lengthening the time, which he does really well with. One of the distractions that we're working on is being able to walk all the way around him, which is one of the harder distractions for a puppy to overcome, because they want to follow you at their head, and so they're more likely to pop up. But we've been working on dropping food, leaving the room, just making it harder. So that's what we consider our 3Ds: distance, duration, distraction. Okay, good boy. Talking over him, as simple as it is a heavy distraction. Now, if you're working on these and he breaks once or twice, I'm just gonna, hey, no. I'll tell him no, have him do it again. Sit, down, stay. But if he breaks 3 times in a row, it's too hard. Whatever the distraction is, could be something that's happening more internally versus externally, whatever the reason, it's too hard. And so I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to break the behavior down to a very simple form to make sure that I get a positive repetition. I always want to train to success, not to failure. Even if he was doing that exact same stay with that exact same distraction 5 minutes ago, for whatever reason, it's too hard now. So we're going to take a step back. Maybe we'll get a very simple stay, reward it, and then be done for the day. We can come back to it tomorrow. Or maybe it's the start of our training session and I just need to build him up. Whatever the reason, we're always going to help him succeed. Okay, good boy. And we want to avoid getting frustrated, especially with this breed. If you get frustrated, they're going to get frustrated and just shut down. Good dog. Oh, good boy. Okay. The next one is our leave it command. So leave it is for something that he does not have in his mouth. Maybe he just noticed it, and it's something that I'm never going to allow him to get. So it could be something dead, could be something really gross, it's just something he's not allowed to touch. So if he already has something in his mouth, then I'm going to tell him drop it, and then I can replace it, or I can then tell him leave it and we walk away. I set him up with this all the time. We've been practicing with different types of food on the floor. I'm not going to use leave it in this situation for a duck because I don't want him thinking that he shouldn't go and retrieve a duck, right? But if maybe we spilled some treats on the ground, if we just, oh no. So here he's already like, what are we doing? Ruger, leave it. Come here. Good. So once I tell him leave it, it is forever forbidden. You notice he still knows it's there. He's still checking it out, but he's not allowed to lunge for it. Come here. Good dog. And I will continue to reward him as he continues to leave it alone. Ruger. Good boy. See, good dog, good dog. The hardest part of the leave it, and especially with food, is when I go to clean it up. Because dogs think, oh, if your hands are there, it must be all right. So when I go to clean this up, if he leans in, I might just gently push him away and say, no, leave it. And then I'll reward him when I finish cleaning it up. No, leave it. So even that. No, leave it. See this? Because it might be something in the kitchen. Maybe you're cooking and you don't want him to grab the steak off the floor. Good. And now when I've cleaned it up, then I'll say, okay, good boy. If we were on a walk and we saw something like that, I would say, leave it. Oh, good boy, good boy. And I would continue to reward him as we got past it. So, you a good boy. Okay, now I am going to pause the video, switch the camera around so we have a little bit more space. We're going to go over our leash work as well as our recall command. So with leash work, we're going to talk about our heel, the long lead walk, engagement, and that recall. So, good boy. Heel. Good heel. All right, so we're going to talk about our heel. My expectation during the heel is he's on my left side, keeping my pace, walking next to my knee. So here he's like half a step in front of me, which isn't that big a deal, but if he gets too far ahead of me, I can correct that leash. Heel. I will repeat the heel command if I change directions. Heel. Or we start again. Good. Now, the heel I use when I'm needing his focus. So we're either getting past distractions, maybe we're going through a store. For me, during a hunt test, we're going up to the blind. I just need him to focus on me and forget about everything else around. And so in order for him to do that, I need to give him feedback. I need to tell him he's doing a good job and I need to keep his focus on me. So especially when we're passing a distraction, I'm just going to talk to my dog. I'm going to make it so that it's very rewarding. So it looks like heel. Good boy. Good dog. Heel. Notice I can slow down. Good boy. Good boy. I'm giving him feedback. Good dog. And I'm going to reward him when he's being a good boy. And then when I stop, heel, I expect him to stop and I expect him to sit next to me. Good boy. which you guys should have seen that video at the park where I had him heel with my kids following us around. He's a very good boy. His only downfall is sometimes he gets a little bit out in front because he wants to stare at the treat. That's why sometimes I'll keep this hand over to the side so that I can keep him next to me. So once again, the heel is for you. Keep his attention, keep his focus. I use the heel in short bursts. This is not how we exercise our dog. This is not how we go for long walks. I use this like 2 minutes max. If I need to go into a store, you might get 5 minutes, but I am not going to have him heel very long because it's an attention-based activity and puppies have short attention spans. So keep it short, keep it fun. Instead, I keep him on a long lead, and that way he can explore, we can have a good time while we're out on walks, and then it's like, oh, here's a distraction, here's a jogger, here's someone on a bicycle. I'll reel him in, put him in a heel while we get past the distraction, and then once we get past, then he's free to go again. Now, because this is so relationship-based, he needs to trust you to ignore all the distractions around. You need to practice this command. This one's going to take the most practice in order to transition over because he needs to build that relationship with you. So just like us doing a heel in this big open room, start in your home, just having him follow you. Then we'll go into the backyard, work on this heel with limited distractions. Once he's doing well in the backyard, let's go to the front yard and we'll go down a house, back a house, down a house. Just really practice him focusing in on you and working on this heel. Once he's doing well with limited distractions, then let's go somewhere where there's a little bit more distractions and we're just going to gradually build it up. Now, he is not allowed to pull at all. So if you're walking him, doesn't matter the length of the leash, and he just gets a little bit distracted. So he notices that distraction, isn't pulling yet, but isn't paying attention. I'm going to tell him, or I'm just going to try and get his attention. I'm just going to be like, Ruger. Oh, good boy. Notice he's very in tune with his name. He'll regain attention pretty quick that way. If that didn't work, if he maybe you saw the ear flick, but he kept looking forward, maybe then started to actually pull, then I'm going to tell him no and pop the leash. So it's going to be no, pop, pop. So those leash pops are up. I'm not dragging him back because I use leash pressure to relay information. If I need to turn, I give him a little pressure back. If I need to turn this way, a little pressure that way. So I don't want to pull him back. Instead, even if he was out in front of me pulling, I would step in, pop up. So it's no, pop, pop. If he regains his attention, then I'll tell him, good boy, take a couple steps, reward him, keep walking. But if he immediately went back to pulling or it didn't even work, I would try it one more time. So it'd be no, pop, pop, no, pop, pop. I would get a little bit more firm. If he can regain his focus there, great, good boy, let's keep going. If that doesn't work though, and he's just hyper fixating on whatever the distraction is, then I'm going to come to a complete stop. And we are not progressing forward if you are not paying attention to me. So I would get his attention, I would stop, give him a little pep talk like, Ruger, you got focus on me, dude. And then we can try to keep walking. But if he continues to pull or he goes back to pulling, now I'm going to correct him. So I'm going to stop, or not even stop, I'm going to do a 180. I'm going to say no, pop that leash, and walk the opposite direction. And now I'm going to quicken my pace. If he can regain his focus, then we can turn around and walk back towards the distraction. If he starts to pull, it's a quick pop, turn back around. And then I'll start doing a little bit of like spastic walking where I'm going to turn this way. Oh, now I'm turning this way. And if he doesn't pay attention, he's going to get popped. Or I'll just go back and forth, where it's just really quick movements. I'm always going to turn into him, so that way my body language interrupts his. And you'll notice that now he's like, what in the world are you doing? So he's focusing on me. Good boy, good boy. And even after we regain his attention, if we started walking back towards a distraction, the moment he crosses that threshold, I'll pop that leash, turn back around. So he never gets to advance to a distraction if he is not under control. Good boy. Now, there's going to be a time where the distraction is too much. Can't tell you what it's going to be, but he's going to get reactive. So he might start barking. It might be woo, 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 woo. or he might try and run away, which I don't think is going to be the case. He's not an overly sensitive dog. He's pretty confident. So instead, I think that he's going to more react by barking, maybe even try and pull to it. But whatever the distraction is, he's not going to be able to walk past. So the heel is out the window. At that moment, I need to engage with my dog. So if I can't get his attention by, Ruger, hey, something like that, I'm going to correct him. I'm going to reel him in, and I'm going to step through him, and now I will back him up. So distance, once again, is your friend. There's always an amount of distance that we can get to help him come out of the red zone and regain some control. So I would step into him, I would back him up. Now we're going to walk away. I'm going to put myself between him and the distraction, and then I'm going to reward simple successes. So it's like, hey, watch me. Good boy. Good boy. So watch me. I'm looking for a flicker of eye contact. He doesn't need to stare into my soul. Notice the bag he's very focused on. But if I say, watch me. Okay, good boy. So there his eyes just met mine and then they went back. I'm okay with that because that little break in the focus of the distraction, I can build on that. I might just ask him for a sit. And I might just reward him for being calm, right? Good boy, good boy. That distraction's over there going crazy. Good dog, way to focus on me. Once he shows that he can be calm, then I'll open up so that we can watch the distraction. I'm not going to coddle him. I'm not going to go, oh, it's okay, let's go away. No, we're going to sit here and we're going to watch the distraction, and I'm going to reward you for being calm. If you get out of control again, well, I'm backing you up again, and we're going to get more distance. Good boy. Now I'm going to cut you off so that my body language says, hey, you don't need to worry about that. I got it under control. And I'll reward him for being calm, reward him for focusing on me. Let's watch the distraction. Okay? Once he shows that he's in control, then we might be able to walk past it. He is going to get reactive at some point, most likely over the next couple days. He's not a super reactive dog, but he can be a vocal dog. He makes a lot of noises, and that's where I think you're going to see it, is he might groan a little bit or maybe bark, and it's just like, hey, knock it off. Focus on me. Oh, good boy. But engage with him. I practice with all of our puppies here where it's like, hey, let's go to the park and sit on a bench, and we're going to watch kids run by. We're going to watch people on strollers, and I'm going to reward him just for being calm. So that's what to do on a short leash. If I'm going to walk him for exercise, I'm going to use a long lead. And depending on the amount of space you have, kind of dictates what length you can use. So this is one of my shorter long leads. Ruger. Good boy. This one's 15 feet. We use this around neighborhoods, at the park, or up on campus. If I have a lot of space, I want to give my dog more room to run, you can use a 30 or a 50-foot lead. But this is how I exercise my dog. This is the type of walk I want to go on. Hey. So that way he can explore, he can sniff. This dog needs to sniff. We want him to sniff. And so that way it's going to be much more enriching for him, and he's going to burn more energy by having more freedom. That doesn't mean that he's allowed to pull. So this is the primary time that I work on his recall. No, you are going to lose some teeth today because you are extra mouthy. There you go. So anytime he gets away from me or he starts to hit the end of the leash, I'm going to call him back to me. So his recall is Ruger, come. So I'm going to say his name. There's a brief pause followed by the come command. The moment that he starts to come towards me, I'm going to say, good boy, good boy. When he gets to me, okay, reward, and now he's free to go again. So that way I make it really, really positive. So here where he laid down, Ruger, come. Good boy, okay. Hard to show in this small of a space. His recall is phenomenal. I love it. He does a great job, but I need to continue to practice this. This is your most important command. This is the one that I practice the most. And so almost every single day on a walk, I'm going to get at least 10 repetitions in of just calling him to come for no reason other than to reward him and let him go again. So it's very, very fun. It's very positive. Ruger, come. Good boy. Okay. If he ignores me, I have the lead to now reel him in. So I would tell him no, put that pressure in, start stepping backwards, And then the moment that he caves into the pressure, so it'd look like this. No. Good boy, okay. So notice as soon as he turned around, took that first step, I let off the pressure, told him he was a good boy, rewarded him when he got to me. So by practicing on the long lead, we have a way to enforce this. If we don't have a way to enforce it, especially early on, I'm not going to ask for it. Or if I think he's going to fail, I'm not going to ask for it. Instead, I'll do something to get his attention. So that's also why there's a pause between his name and the actual command, because I use his name to get him to look at me. Ruger, come. Good boy. And if he failed to look at me there, I might say his name one more time. If that didn't work, I might be, hey, good boy, good boy. Notice that gets his attention. If he fails and I don't have the lead attached, I'm going to go and get him. So I'm going to say no, and I'm going to start walking towards him. I'm not going to chase after him, but it's almost like a serial killer walk where I'm going to stalk him down and go and get him. But let's say I started to walk towards him. Maybe I even got 90% of the way there, and then he's like, oh, hey, what are you doing? And he comes up to me. I will then reward that behavior. You cannot reprimand your dog if you called them to come. You cannot call your dog to come to correct them. Say he's outside and he's digging in the lawn. You don't want to say, Ruger, come, and then reprimand him. Then you're just teaching him, Ruger, come, good boy, that he should not come to you because you're not going to reward him, and now your recall's out the window. So I'm always going to reward him. Even if it means that even if it's just that he came the last 10% of the way. But if I had to go all the way to him, and when I got to him, he never once initiated the action of coming to me, then I might tell him no, hook a leash on him, and I'll go, Ruger, come, good boy, good boy, good boy. And that way I can reward the correct behavior that way. So if he fails a recall, go and get him. Don't reprimand him. Be positive. Practice this command. Ruger's great. I love this dog. He's super, super smart. He's very fun. And a warning, Griffs often are kind of too smart for their own good. So he's going to need something to do. He will be very methodical in the way that he decides what to do. So give him time to process too. Like he needs to think about it. He needs that processing time. My dogs are super funny. They will always find the easiest way to complete a task, even when that comes to retrieving birds. So we hunt a lot on the Snake River, which is a huge river, has plenty of current, and my dog will always look which way the bird is floating, and she will go down and find the shortest point. Even if that's 150 yards down, she'll go down, meet the current, intercept the bird. So they are a very, very methodical breed. He is going to be that way, but he's very, very smart, and that's what makes these guys fun. So if you have any questions, please write them down, call me, let's go through them. I'm super excited for you to get him. He's just an awesome dog. But thank you for allowing us to train him. I appreciate it.